These might be some of my favorite automations I've ever created. They're extremely useful, so not gimmicky, but still so much fun. You're gonna want all of these, check it out. You know how it's easy to neglect the laundry basket until it's overflowing and you're out of clean clothes? Well, that doesn't happen to me anymore. My smart home can detect when my laundry basket is just full enough to do a load of laundry. And it's pretty easy to set up. There's a pressure sensor mat underneath my laundry basket, and when it gets too heavy, it starts an automation that sends me a notification to do my laundry. But it only happens at the perfect time, which is when I'm home and it's 9 a.m. so I can just do the laundry right then. It's amazing. I got this idea from a post on Reddit, but they were using a more complex pressure sensor, and this one's just a Trample-Tech blue mat and it's plug and play. Laundry is a lot less annoying now. Okay, this next automation is so simple, but I don't know if I could ever live without it after using it. Here's how it works. When I put my phone on the charging stand, it shows me what my current battery level on the phone screen is, but then it quickly disappears. Not ideal. Well, now when I put my phone on the charger at this desk, the cube light I 3D printed changes colors to match the battery level. So as the phone charges up, the light changes so I can easily see where my battery is at. Look, it's green, so I know if I grab my phone, it'll be all charged up and ready to go. Once the phone is off the charger, the cube light goes back to blue. Again, it's so simple, but it's part of my daily routine now because it works so well. And shout out to the person on Reddit who shared this automation idea. So yes, a handful of these automations in this video I found online, and you guys have some of the best ideas. Now I want you to be a part of these videos. If you have an automation idea either you're already using or wish someone would figure out how to make it happen, put it down in the comments. I'll set up the automation in my house, then give you a shout out in the video and on my website. That's where I show how to actually set up these automations. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Alright, back to the automations. I don't know about you, but my day-to-day schedule is almost never the same. Going to bed could be late or early, especially if, or I should say, when our 2-year-old gets out of bed to wake us up. Every single night. So knowing when to stop cooling or heating the HVAC zone in the main area of the house and only cool or heat the bedroom zone can't be on a set schedule. Instead, my smart home just asks me. When I walk into the bedroom and my smart home detects the Bluetooth on my phone nearby, it triggers the automation.
Hey Reed, want me to cool down the bedroom?
The smart speaker in the room asks if I want to cool the bedroom down. If I say yes, it does it. And if I was just walking back there to grab my iPad or something, it won't run the automation if I don't respond. It will just ask me when I come back later. Easy and simple. Okay, this next automation is from Reddit, but I don't know if I like it because it involves strong-arming me into doing a chore, which is probably for the best, I guess. You see, if the clean water tank on the robot vacuum dock is empty or the dirty water tank fills up, the robot vacuum can't mop. Yes, I get a notification to fill it up with water or empty it, but you know what? I can just ignore that dumb little notification. That is, until now. My smart home can detect when the clean water tank is empty or the dirty tank is full. If so, that means I've ignored the notification and I'm grounded from my iPad. So an automation runs to turn off the internet on my iPad. I can't live without that. So now I'm basically forced to do chores. Thanks a lot, random person on Reddit. Well, the mop is running more and our floors are looking great. So actually, I do appreciate it. And my kids like that I get punished too. Now, you might not believe me, but Allie loses her phone at least 3 to 40 times a day.
Hey, Reed, have you seen my phone?
It's like our main conversation we have now, and apparently other people have this issue too because there were a lot of good ideas on the internet of how to fix this with your smart home. Instead of always asking me where her phone is, she can just hold down the button here on the smart speaker and it will tell her what room she left it in. Magic.
Hey Allie, your phone is near the bedroom. I will make it ring now.
It's able to do this by using the Bluetooth on her phone and room presence detection. Even if her phone is on silent, a couple of critical notifications show up that always make noise. This happens after a slight delay so she can hear where the phone is after walking to the room. Perfect, but now what are we gonna have a conversation about? Probably about how some automation ran when it wasn't supposed to. Yeah, right, that's not gonna happen because I already fixed it with You guessed it, another automation. You see, I try to be a good husband and take Allie on dates. I love her and I want to spend time with her. But in the commotion of the babysitter coming over, trying to get the house ready, making sure our 2-year-old is happy while we sneak out the door, I usually forget to turn on babysitter mode for our smart home. That mode just skips automations that usually run while our phones are away, like the robot vacuum starting, the AC running less, and that kind of stuff. But babysitter mode is no good if I forget to set it. So like I said, I have another automation that prevents me from forgetting. Using my calendar, the smart home sees that I'm going on a date night from the calendar event and just enables the babysitter mode for me. How cool is that? And using the calendar to control my smart home is such a lifesaver. And speaking of my calendar and smart home, if I sit at my desk in the morning and I have any calendar events for that day, an automation will get kicked off telling me to look at my smart home dashboard there on the desk.
You have calendar events today, and I am putting them on the dashboard now.
The calendar items show up long enough for me to see all of them, and then they disappear. And yes, I could have the smart speaker read off the calendar events, but it's much faster and easier to understand, see all of the calendar events right there on the dashboard. It feels like I have a really smart assistant helping me stay on top of things. It's great. Okay, those are all just child's play compared to this next automation that I found online that is dangerously good, like elevating mankind to a whole new level of automation kind of good. When I'm playing a video game on the Xbox, sometimes people might not be able to communicate with me, so I fix the problem by putting down the controller. No way! With an automation, of course. Now if my Xbox is on and I get a text message from my wife Allie, an automation is triggered. It will immediately reply back to her that I might not be able to respond right away. Then when I'm done playing, another automation kicks off that reminds me to message her. I went from potentially being in the doghouse to putting out a fire quickly to being a standout husband. One small step for home automation, one giant leap for mankind. So when I'm out away from the house and about to head home, I like to do a few things, like setting the thermostat back to a normal temperature or texting Allie that I'm heading home. The problem is I forget to do it, so a really simple automation makes it so it always happens. When my phone connects to the car's Bluetooth and I'm not at home, a notification pops up with two options: cool down the house if Allie and I are both in the car, or text Allie I'm heading home. And the cherry on top is the text automatically grabs the time it takes to get home from my current location and adds that to the text. Amazing! Now I never forget, and it makes my life that much better with basically no extra work. Alright, this next automation is tried and true because it's so simple and effective. Using the Ring contact sensors on my back doors, if either one opens up at night, the backyard lights turn on. You can do this with a simple Amazon routine, or if you're using Home Assistant, with the Ring MQTT integration. I love using my Ring sensors for both my alarm and automations. I'll put a link down below how to add the MQTT Ring integration because it's really useful. Like using it with this next automation, if either back door is left open for over a minute and the air conditioning is running, I get an alert. Originally, I had to yell on the smart speaker for someone to shut the door.
Close the door, you filthy animal. The air conditioning is on.
But if we have guests over, it might be a little rude for the smart speaker to yell at the little neighbor kid. So now I just get a notification on my phone. It works great though, and I'm not wasting energy or Arizona's most precious resource, cool air. Alright, not all automations are as easy as turning on the light from opening up the door. Sometimes it can take 2 or 3 times to get it right. And that's how it's been for me trying to automate taking vitamins and medication. I've tried both a contact sensor on the cabinet door, a labeled button to press, but it never worked perfectly. It's difficult, there's lots of containers, knowing who's opening the cabinet, there's just too many variables. Well, for the last month or so, I found a system that is a million times better with the most simple automation out there. Every day in the middle of the night, an automation runs that makes buttons appear on our kitchen dashboard, which keep track of taking our vitamins. Once we take them, we immediately press the button to check it off. It's bright and purple, so you can't miss it. Sometimes simple solutions are the best, and I'm thinking about adding more checklist items to the dashboard for like getting kids ready for school, because it can just be pure chaos in the morning. Speaking of kids and chaos, if we didn't have our security alarm automated, there is no way we would ever manually arm it. And that's always the trade-off with security and convenience. have more security, it's less convenient. Unless you automate it, and then you can have the best of both worlds. When our phones leave and disconnect from the Wi-Fi, it automatically arms the alarm in away mode. And once we pull in the garage, our phones reconnect to the Wi-Fi, and it automatically disarms the alarm. Same with when I go to bed. Once I lay down in my bed, the pressure sensor under my mattress makes the alarm go into armed at home mode. Then it disarms if I walk out of my bedroom in the morning. And yes, technically someone could be dumb enough to steal my phone, drive to my house to try to get in, but the police would just be there waiting for them. So thanks for driving my stolen phone home, I guess. What's awesome is that you can take automating the security alarm to the next level. If my outside cameras detect a person on our property while the alarm is armed, at night or while we're away, an automation will run that sends me a critical notification. Those notifications I showed earlier that make a noise no matter what. Plus the automation takes a snapshot of the camera and attaches the image to the notification so I can quickly see what's going on. This makes it so I don't have to use Ring cameras with the Ring alarm for this type of automation. I can mix and match Unify, Reolink, or any type of camera that can detect a person to automatically alert me at certain times. Way better. If you have a smartphone, doom scrolling can suck so much time out of your day. Well, I made an automation that helps me avoid it. There is a Siri shortcut automation that runs whenever I open up a social media app. It checks to see if I've read my scriptures that day, and if I haven't yet, then it automatically opens up my scripture app so I can read it right then. Obviously, if I have time for social media, then I have time for a book. And if you're not religious, this could be any reading app you like. The automation just uses the Reminders app in iOS to see if I checked off reading for the day. But I really like this because it automatically stops me from doom scrolling. Instead, it helps me do something uplifting. Love it. Remember those commercials where the person would fall and couldn't get up so they would press a button for help? Well, I'm not that old, but Allie and I still need each other's help on occasion, especially with the kids. So we have a button we can press in our own smart home dashboards, or we can say a voice phrase to any smart speaker in the house.
Reed needs reinforcements. Oh.
What's cool is the other person gets a notification and it says the room the person who needs help is in, using, of course, room presence detection from the phone's Bluetooth. Now, if one of us is dealing with a poopy diaper that ended up being a blowout, call in reinforcements. Okay, this next automation is one of my all-time favorites, and even though I've shown it in a video recently, I've made it even better. When I'm in here working, I might turn on the speakers, fans, or adjust the lights. When I walk out of the room, everything turns off using the mmWave sensor. Pretty basic. But just before the automation turns everything off, it takes a snapshot of all the devices, whether they're on or off, and creates a scene. That way, if I walk back in, the speakers, fans, or lights can go back to exactly how I had it when I left. But if I walk back in a few hours later, everything goes back to the default on or off state. That way it feels like it's reading my mind and does exactly what I want it to. Again, shout out to CJ who emailed me how to do this. Thank you so much. This automation is amazing. So a while ago, I tried automating my kids' lights for bedtime. It worked, but then it didn't because I made a big mistake. I had the lamp in the room turn on and their ceiling lights turn off at night. But I didn't have an easy way for the kids to control the lamp in their room, so the automation would break when the kids would physically turn off the lamp. So I added these buttons and now they can press it to toggle the lamp on or off. Plus they can hold down the button to turn off the ceiling lights and turn on the lamp. And I like these buttons for a few different reasons. The kids got to choose the color that they want. It comes with a magnet so the button can be moved, but it usually stays in one spot. Plus I can use rechargeable AAA batteries. Now the kids aren't physically turning off the lamp and are using the smart buttons instead. So the automations keep working uninterrupted. Everyone's happy. If you saw my previous video, you saw the light strips I added to my server rack. They look so good, but turning them on with a physical button or on the dashboard, lame. How about having them only turn on when I walk right in front of it? That's right. If I'm doing laundry in here, the light strips don't turn on. But if I walk right in front of the server rack to make an adjustment or something, the lights magically turn on. I'm using this Aqara FP1E Zigbee mmWave sensor that just magnetically attaches to the server rack. It can detect how far away I'm standing, so if I'm far away doing laundry, the lights don't turn on. But if I'm standing close, they do. It's way too much fun. These lights are also automated with my network. I made an automation to turn the light strips red if the internet is down, and it was surprisingly easy to do. Using the ping integration, I have an entry that pings the Google DNS server, and if it fails, the sensor turns off, which I use to trigger the automation. And when the ping is connected again, the automation turns the light strips off. Simple but effective. Creating automations around the house is so much fun, and if you have any automations you want to share or just want to challenge me with an idea, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Whoa, what's emergency? What do you need help with?
Oh, hey, could you actually give me a cookie and a lemonade from the kitchen? Thanks.
That's the emergency? Using my smart home against me.